Greetings, Earth people. Today we have a Paul Reed Smith guitar. It's a custom. I don't know what exact model it is, but for a period of time, Paul Reed Smith switched from using nitro to a two-part 2K finish, and this is one of them. I think you can have a choice, I guess, if you're having it custom made. But I think they went back to nitro or some kind of pre-catalyzed nitro or something like that. So I did a little test on the spring cavity. I basically took a little bit of lacquer thinner, placed it on there for waited a minute or so, and then just gave it a wipe. And if it turns the finish dull, you got nitro. If it does absolutely nothing, you got 2K. So we have a 2K finish here, which actually makes things easier on this black guitar. We have a broken headstock. It's not broken off like a Gibson is broken, but it did take a shot at the tuning gear and damage the area around the tuner. There's a little crack that extends up to the A string tuner. Little hairline crack there. This chip comes out like that, and of course we got this one. Stay in focus. Come on, behave. This one here, and that extends up the side up to here as well. So we'll get that glued up. I haven't decided what I'm going to use yet, but we'll get that glued up and then go to the next step. There's also a little chip on this side as well. So these cracks, they are pretty tight. Even when I press down on it, it's hard for me to get any motion. You really want to get the whole area good and solid and stabilized, but it's going to be hard to do with a carpenter's glue or a fish glue or hide glue or anything like that. Some people will say, "Oh, why don't you use a hypodermic like that?" Well, it's too. This crack is so tight. I'm never going to get a hypodermic in there. It's just not enough motion to get that opened up. So I think our best option for this is, since it is not in a highly structural area, the only reason it cracked was because the thing fell over and it really took a hit on the tuner, and the tuner acted like a lever, and it opened up the wood. It's not as if there's a large gluing area here, as you often see on Gibson Les Pauls. So we won't be using a hypodermic on this. I'm just going to use super glue because it's not structurally high priority. We just want to get it back together. We want to get it flat. We want to get it stabilized. Super glue is the only glue that's going to be able to get into this really tight area here to stabilize it. Since the crack extends as far as the A string here, we don't want that very super thin super glue running up to this metal ferrule here in gluing. We don't want to glue it in, so we're going to take it out. I think it'll be a good idea to take all of these out because I want to tape this off. This finish is like natural wood, porous sort of look. I don't want any of the super glue to get in there or on here to alter that appearance. So I want to be able to put a layer of masking tape on this to protect it. Hot potato. Since this is a 2K finish, I'm not concerned about the super glue eating into the nitrocellulose. So we're just going to apply it directly on and just let it sink in. You can just see it sucking right in. Good morning. We've had a day. I sprayed this on Saturday. It is now Monday. This is a 2K once again, because that what was originally used on the instrument. So I prefer to use at least the same type of finish originally used on whatever instrument that I happened to be repairing at the time. And so we gave this a fairly generous coat of 2K, 2 sessions on Saturday. There's a couple little things there. I just did a quick once over sanding there just to knock down any high spots and little specks here. I suspect I should probably give my gun a better cleaning because I have spray booth there. We have the filters and all there, and it's pretty dust free. I also should probably wear one of those white monkey suits there. I have to, I know of a source I can get some for cheap, but it's not always available. So I can pick up some of those. That'll help keep that down to a minimum. I can see if I can find any. Little guy there, a little bit of orange peel. I'm really thinking of getting another spray gun. It's just little specks of dust, and no big deal. We'll sand them down, but it'd be nice not to have them in the first place. It's not the end of the world by any means. So I'm going to knock these down and make sure there's no air bubbles. That would be, if just little specks of dust of that on a 2K, I'm not too concerned. Well, let's see what we got. We're going to sand it down. Now, even though that the headstock was broken up here, in a guitar that uses nitrocellulose, you can get away with just spraying that general area there, and tapering it off and giving it a shot of very thin lacquer for your last coat. and then wet sanding it, and it helps get rid of the witness lines that happens at the end of the spray, where you stop spraying and where the old finish is. You sand it, you can tell where it was. That problem is particularly um, apparent on 2K finishes. Um, 2K, of course, is part A and part B, and it's a chemical curing process and not an evaporative process. And evaporative process, you got solids in a solvent. The solvent dissipates and it leaves the solids behind. With the 2K, you have part A and part B, and they combine together in a chemical curing process, which gives you part C. But the problem with that is that once it cures into part C, uh, it will, once you spray it on top of itself, like in the second coat, it won't, it'll adhere, but it will not melt into the previous coat that you had sprayed. And because of that, when you wet sand it, you can see a witness line quite visibly. So with this, even though I had just had a little damage up here, I had to tape this off here, and I had to spray the entire length of the neck just so I wouldn't have a witness line. Now, uh, with 2K, you notice I wanted to give myself as little work as possible, especially in these tight corners that are hard to buff. You can hide the witness line along a sharp corner, such as the heel of the neck. You can get away with, fading that off, and it's almost impossible to see. But any open air out in the open um, area, it's impossible to hide the witness line. So that's why I sprayed the entire neck. Okay, I've given this a full sanding with about 3,000 grit. I'm still having that's where a bubble was. As it dries out and the powdered finish dries out, it turns white, and that little pit there shows up as a white dot. So also, in trying to eliminate that bubble, I can see, give it a little sanding here, wipe. I can see where I have sanded through. I'm going to excuse my camera. Let's see if we can get that. Can pick it up on camera. Let's change modes here. Let's see if we can get a clear enough shot here. Ah, okay. Yeah, see the little dark area here? That's a witness line. That's where I sanded it extra here, and I actually sanded through the finish that I just sprayed on. In the dark area is the old finish underneath. So I'm going to have to spray it again. I'm going to spray it again with another light coat and let it dry for another day. We get rid of that one tiny little spot there. Am I too fussy? Yeah, I am. Okay. Since 2K doesn't really melt, that little white dot, if I sprayed clear over that, it would remain white. It will not black out like a nitrocellulose would. So I'm going to take a little base coat on the end of a toothpick, and just give it a little and get there you go, black it out. So another little tiny one here, so I'm going to do that as well. Okay. All right. Mix up another batch and have at it. Hey man, thank y'all for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. I like to answer everyone's questions or comments. And the channel has about 65 videos up there, so check them out. Peace out. Bye.